Good morning, world. It's Friday and it's March. Can I tell you how happy I am? Can I tell you how happy I am that driving to the station this morning, it was sunny out? I mean, it wasn't sunny. It wasn't like basking in the rays, but I could see sunlight, and that is a big improvement.
Sunrise was at 6:48.
Oh,
Expect a sunset at 5:57.
thank you. Thanks, Hannah.
I looked that up
will.
just so I could tell folks.
Thank you.
I'm excited about that
I appreciate
as it
that.
stretches further and further apart.
Oh my goodness, I know. I looked it up, and technically winter doesn't end until I think March 20th, or maybe spring begins. I don't know. It's a glass half empty, half full kind of thing. But I don't care, because in my heart, it's spring. I got this. What are the crocuses little coming up and out of the ground, and I don't know, sun happening, and I heard a bird chirp, and it's happening, Hannah.
I know I'm excited to start gardening, but I'm not going to be one of those fools that does it now and then everything you plant dies. 'Cause it's still a
Those
process.
fools. Somebody right now is in their garden listening to this like, oh, I guess I'll just go inside. I'm the fool.
You are the fool.
Well, we all knew that. Anyway, how's your week going?
Good. I had a thought coming here that I like heated car seats and all, but heated steering wheels is the future.
Dude, right? I feel that way every time I get in my car.
Every new electric car to be built should do hot wheels. That's the part that makes it hard to
Wheels.
drive if you're like not gripping.
Well, I mean, they have those things that you can buy at Target for like $5 that are just sort of, you know, the steering wheel covers. You could get, listen.
That's not what I'm talking about.
You could, well, I'm just telling you how to solve the problem until the future happens. I mean,
No, I'll have cold hands until then.
every day she'll
Yes,
get in her car.
every
There's
day.
no solution. Someone invent Hot Wheels.
And curse it until...
Yeah. Well, so did you never have the steering wheel cover that was like pink shag carpet?
No.
Oh, unfortunate for you.
Mm.
Were you never a teenage girl?
No, I wasn't. I've always been a troll.
That's really... She's 1,000 years old. Anyway, should we talk about news?
Let's get into the news a bit.
Let's talk about... Top national news today is that denuclearization talks between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un have failed. The second round of talks between two leaders ended suddenly and several hours short on Thursday. Trump said the talks ended because Kim wanted sanctions to be lifted completely for partial denuclearization. The president said, quote, "There is a gap. We have to have sanctions, and he wants to denuke. But he wants to just do areas that are less important than the areas that we want." Sure, that statement made sense. But Pyongyang says it all went down differently. North Korea's foreign minister said that they wanted partial sanction relief in exchange for closing the country's main nuke facility. Both sides expressed pessimism about future talks. Wow, that's different than 24 hours ago, huh? Trump was like so certain this was going to be the most amazing thing that ever happened. Trump did claim that the current situation will continue, meaning North Korea won't be doing any nuclear tests and U.S. won't join South Korea in joint military drills. One South Korean diplomat expressed dismay at the breakdown of talks. He said, quote, "It was a shock. We are trying to figure out what happened. We need to watch what happened behind the scenes."
If they'll let you in to see what happened,
Yeah, that's...
right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
How public were these?
I don't know, actually, because to tell you...
You weren't there?
If I wasn't, I can't tell you about it.
All right.
No, I mean, actually, to be fair, I was really busy watching the Cohen trial yesterday, and then by the time that was, or listening to rather, while I was at work, and then by the time that was over, I was done with news because, you know, you hit that emotional cap sometimes, and you got to not look at the news for a little while. So I don't know what happened here.
I did hear one interesting pundit say that she was actually glad that a deal didn't happen because she and some of the international community were worried that just to have a deal, they would come up with some that was like not in anybody's best interest.
Sure,
and
yeah.
then like be like, but we got this deal. It's all about a deal. So she was all like, phew, this is actually better than getting into something that's
Yeah, that's actually a
bad.
really good point because I feel like Trump really has a tendency. I mean, what he wants is to be able to walk away and say, like, I did it. Because really, that's, he was like announcing his victory with Kim Jong Un before this meeting even happened. He's like, it's going to go down in history as this is the best deal ever made. And yeah, you're right. Actually, on some level, we're kind of lucky that he didn't just decide that this was the best deal ever made and he actually admitted defeat. I mean, that's.
Well, not really. The thing that he likes more than making a deal is bragging about walking away from a bad deal.
Fair point.
He loves doing that.
Fair point.
Doesn't he?
I don't know.
Nasty man.
I try not to spend too much of my time thinking
Well,
about
you know
Trump.
what else he did? President Trump.
What, Hannah? Tell me.
He sided with the North Korean dictator over the torture and death of an American student.
Oh, that's not funny. I'm sorry. I made it a joke.
know.
Keep going.
She could have known what I was about to say, but okay, let's get real. During the two leaders' talks, Kim Jong-un said he didn't know about and was not responsible for the torture and ultimate death of the American student Otto Warmbier. Trump said some really bad things happened to Otto, but Kim tells me that he didn't know about it, and I will take him at his word. The 22-year-old student had visited North Korea on a school trip in 2016. He is accused of stealing a propaganda poster and sentenced to 15 years hard labor.
Well, that seems proportional, yeah.
But in 2017, he was released to American officials, unresponsive with critical injuries. Warmbier died a few days later. Doctors could not determine the exact cause of his brain injuries. Trump invited Warmbier's family to the State of the Union, even addressing them and criticizing the dictatorship for its role in Otto's death. Republicans and Democrats are both expected to criticize Trump for accepting Kim's word on this. Many Republicans have previously taken Trump to task for believing dictators like Mohammed bin Salman and Vladimir Putin over the words of U.S. intelligence.
I am struggling to think of another leader of our country, anyway, that is so... It's amazing how he'll just say whatever he needs to say to please the person that's in the room. You know what I mean? And it's amazing, it's amazing that there are still people that believe the words that he says. Sorry, I mean, this is really vague, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's he did the same thing with Vladimir Putin. He was like, well, we're going to be tough on Putin and, we're not going to take no for an answer. And then as soon as he's in the room with him, he's like, well, he's my friend and I believe everything he tells me.
He wouldn't lie to my face.
Yeah.
Just like I don't lie to other people's faces.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I know he's...
And this isn't the first time that Trump has done... Yeah, exactly. There's multiple cases where he's done this and not taken the word of U.S. intelligence over just like a face-to-face meeting he's had with somebody. So it's super interesting that it's still just only about him, like his immediate...
Well, he wants everyone in the room to think he's amazing and to like him, and it's really hard for people, to get people to like you and respect you as a leader when you're calling them a liar. You know what else has been really interesting? I've been keeping trying to keep my thumb on the pulse of at the same time that Trump is, I don't know, cozying up to Kim Jong-un. I'm not sure that's quite what he's doing anymore, but, definitely appeasing the man. Meanwhile, we're like appalled at the dictatorship in Venezuela. You know what I mean? And I just think it's really interesting to watch those two stories unfold at the same time, because it's so contradictory. We're like, dictatorships are bad and how could you treat your people like this and whatever, and then we're in North Korea being like, I love Kim Jong-un, everything he does is amazing and I believe every word that he says. It's such an interesting dichotomy, and it's such from a psychological point of view,
absolutely,
it's amazing.
That's where you put your critical thinking hat on, folks, and you think, what's actually behind it? Where's the oil?
Right.
Where's why are we profiting? How are we profiting?
Good point.
Because if we're standing if we're
Yeah.
standing up to it, there's something else behind it, because it's not just for the goodness of our hearts.
Yeah.
And that's DJ Gray City.
Can we call it Hot Takes with Gray City?
Oh, sure. I like that.
And that was Hot Takes with Gray City, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's take a little bit of break because we'll have Talk Media News coming right up.
A great idea.
You're listening to X-Ray in the Morning. I'm Hannah, my co-host.
is Kira. Hi.
You can text us at 971-220-5979.